All right, so another question that we hear often is what kind of tools do you use as a motivational speaker? And I can tell you that that is again a question that you would receive varied answers from different people. I'm going to tell you this, that for me, the most important tool I have is my mind, and that is an open mind. My ability to continue to read outside of my business, outside of the work that I do, is very important. Meaning I read books from all different types of genres of books. I might read inspirational books. I might read self-help books. I might read a book on quantum physics by, the Dalai Lama or Deepak Chopra. I might also read just a good old-fashioned fiction novel. What I like to call that my smut books. But I might be reading 3 or 4 or 5 different books at one time. I think more than anything that's your most important tool, is that you keep your mind open and you constantly enrich yourself with information that you can use that will suddenly just appear in your mind, and you can use that in recall during one of your speeches or talks or even classes. The other tool that I think that we have, that all of us need to use on a regular basis, our ability to stay open-minded. I said my mind. I think it's important that you have an open mind all the time. If I have an open mind, I'm willing to listen to people rather than be judgmental about that person, their life, or where their experience is coming from, but open yourself to listening to people and learning lessons that they have learned in their life that you have not experienced. That again becomes another really important tool. The next tool that I use regularly is what I call internalization. Internalizing the material you're going to use in a 1-day or 2-day seminar is vital. And that is not a tool that you can put your fingers on. It's not a tool you can go down and buy at the hardware store. This is a tool of understanding the material that you're going to be speaking about and teaching at such a high level that you don't need to be looking at notes or referring to a booklet. It comes to you naturally. And it doesn't always happen the very first time. You might have to teach that class 2 or 3 times. You might have to give that same speech over and over again. But I can tell you this, when I am teaching a class, I call on that internalization. I don't want to have to look down at a note or at my hand or pull up my sleeve and see what's written on it. I want to be able to look my class in the eye and tell them I sincerely believe in this as a way to improve your business and your life. And I think from the tool aspect, now if we look at other things, I use a highlighter more than most people. You say, well, is that a tool? It sure is. I highlight things in books I read. I go back, I scan the books. I use quotes out of books to make a specific point. All great tools. If I had to think of a really actual tool, I'd say my laptop, my ability to have a clicker to move PowerPoint, and some slight knowledge. I'm a very low-tech person, but I have to have some knowledge of PowerPoint and those types of things, and those would be the kinds of tools you use. Now, let's think about microphones for a minute. I'm speaking directly to you, and it's just me and you in the room right now, but I got to tell you, for microphones, it depends for me on the size of the class. I tend to really belt it out even if I have a microphone on, so they may need to lower the volume on the mic if I have one, or if the class is bigger, maybe turn it up a little bit. So those are the kinds of things we use on a regular basis, flip charts, whiteboards, things like that, all sort of to augment the visual presentation and to have the students feel like the presentation is not just lecture, 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 but have it be sort of interactive. And then the last thing that I use as a tool, which again makes it interactive, is using questions in my teaching to help draw out the audience, to find out what they're thinking, what they're hearing, and whether or not the material I'm delivering is sinking in. Those are the tools for being a motivational speaker.